we do have a big agenda for tomorrow at the BART board meeting. It's not all about labor tomorrow. There will be a couple of issues that will probably grab folks' attention. The board is going to be considering the adoption of a citizens oversight model of the BART Police Department, which is their longstanding commitment to providing strong citizens oversight following the January 1st shooting of Oscar Grant. So that will be on the agenda tomorrow, as well as possibly looking at the Myers-Nave report, the public portion of the report. As you know, the Myers-Nave report includes a lot of personnel issues that is something that is private, and by law we can't release those details, but the public portion of that report may be available by tomorrow. We're not sure yet, but if it is, it's something that we might be able to talk about. But those are the two big elements of the January 1st shooting that people have been waiting for, and so that will be before the board, at least certainly the citizens oversight and possibly the Myers-Nave report tomorrow. And then, of course, what everybody I presume is here about, and that is talking about the labor contracts. We are running a little bit late right now, but we are going to meet with ATU over at negotiation headquarters, and as of about 5 minutes ago, I think they were starting to gather. The meeting was supposed to start at 1 o'clock, and I just got off the phone with our negotiators, and the meeting is starting about now. They're starting to gather. Not sure what, if any, progress we'll be making today, but we are going to resume discussions. That said, the BART board does still plan on meeting behind closed doors. There was a closed session scheduled this morning, scheduled for 11 o'clock tomorrow, or following the board meeting. Most likely the board meeting will last beyond 11 o'clock, but at the earliest it will happen at 11 o'clock tomorrow, the closed session on labor. And they'll be discussing their options, what they're going to do, if anything, in terms of the ATU rejection of the contract, which, as you know, SEIU and ASME overwhelmingly approved. So one of the options may be to impose terms and conditions of employment, and they'll be also looking at their other options. What they do, if anything, will be determined during that closed session, and then they'll come out after the closed session and let you know what that is. And from that, I'll let you guys open up to any questions.
What does it mean when the website says that the staff recommends imposing terms of employment? Is that correct? So I haven't actually gone there to look, but I was told that by
I think it's not what the staff recommends, but it's the terms and conditions, if they were to choose to do it, what the terms and conditions would be that the staff recommends to do. Does that makes almost a difference without a distinction there, but there is a difference there. Okay.
And I mean, can you list options they have besides imposing, or is it a little more muddy than?
Well, I can tell you the options that they have are. It's always. Is there somebody on the?
For BART?
Yeah.
Can you guys?
I wonder what's going on. Linton's usually more prompt than this.
Sorry, who am I talking to?
This is Katie with the Examiner.
Oh. Yeah.
Is there a mute button on here?
Who am I speaking?
Can you guys hear me? I don't know why this is on mute, but we're listening to you going, Linton is more prompt. I've already begun this news conference. Like, oh, I'm sorry. Okay. Well, do we start over again? Hang on, let's see if we can't work this out again. Well, this is always fun, the phones. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ah. Okay. Well, we'll try that again. Being accused of not being prompt. It's pretty accurate, though, but. All right, I'll start again. Well, let me finish answering some of the questions for the people in the room, and then we can revisit the beginning of this for those on the phone here, because I know these folks got to get out of here. So some of the other options, the question was, what are some of the options that the BART board might consider? Basically, the board is going to be looking primarily at imposing terms and conditions of employment on ATU because they did not accept the contract, as did SEIU and ASME. They did overwhelmingly, those two unions. So what they really have to do right now is figure out how to stop the bleeding. They've got to figure out how to keep BART from losing so much money. It's $70,000 a day these days. Every day of delay causes us to lose money, and we've got to plug this hole. And so the BART board's got to look at all of its options. And ATU is our second largest union, and their wasteful work rules cause us to spend excess millions of dollars in overtime. And we've got to figure out a way to plug that hole, stop the bleeding, stop spending all this extra money that we don't need to be spending. And then there are, of course, benefits that the ATU members receive that the SEIU and ASME members have said, listen, we're willing to pick up more of the cost of our benefits and reduce the benefits package for the benefit of our taxpayers and riders. ATU wasn't willing to do that for our customers. And so this is something that the BART board has got to figure out how to reduce the size of the benefits package for ATU because they have chosen not to do it through negotiations. So these are the options. And how do we plug this $310 million 4-year deficit? We've taken care of it through, part of it through fare increases, a lot of it through the ratification of these agreements, a lot of it through with SEIU and ASME, and a lot of it through unilateral spending cuts that we can do without negotiations. But ATU was the last piece of the puzzle, and they didn't help us out. So the board has got to figure out what to do next.
If they were to vote hypothetically tomorrow at 11:30, noon, whatever it is, to impose terms and conditions of employment, would it go into effect immediately, or what is the realistic time frame for that kind of thing?
It could go into effect immediately. The board has to make a decision as to when it's going to go into effect, if that's what they decide to do.
Is BART prepared to fill-in train operators? Is BART prepared to hire replacement train operators?
The board will consider what it needs to do in order to keep this agency viable.
So the negotiations, where are we right now? Are we close? In agreement with that, with ATU? Are you?
We're in effect back to square one. I mean, we spent 4 months negotiating with ATU, and 36 hours prior to the tentative agreement in a marathon session, and with the membership vote, that's all out the window. You got to remember this contract offer, the tentative agreement, is pretty good. I mean, all things considered in these grim economic times. I mean, nobody's walking away rich here, but if you look at what other people are getting, there are no furloughs. There are no salary cuts. You look around you, and everybody's getting furloughed and getting their salaries cut. It still provides a great health care plan for the employee and their entire family for just $85 a month. Provides 2 of them, actually, not just one. The pension is fully intact. No, they don't have to pick up any portion of their pension. And yet we're still able to save close to $100 million minus the ATU component. So we've got to be able to figure out a way to save $100 million, and ATU is the missing piece of that puzzle, and that's what the board has got to figure out how it's going to get to that $100 million target if ATU doesn't want to participate in the process, which it sounds like they don't.
Is the board willing to reconsider a 2-year contract, even though there's already been the back and forth on that?
I don't know. We'll have to see what the board says. I mean, the board has a lot. The board's going to earn their $1,380 a month tomorrow for sure. They've got a lot on their plate.
Linton, can you tell us a little bit about this meeting earlier today? Is it already done? Who actually met? Did anything happen?
I'm sorry you guys missed the beginning. We were on mute, so I apologize for that. But they have not met. They're just about to start meeting.